what are some opportunities or some risks that you see with regards to the ability to campaign and organize in a moment that is so crucial for renters, and yet at the same time where it's so difficult to carry out like very basic things like meetings, gatherings, and so on?
Yeah, thanks. The first lockdown actually ended up giving us huge opportunities actually to really discuss systemic problems that are apparent across the world, right? So we were getting in touch with the most fantastic campaigns from around the world and having amazing speakers every single week, joint meetings with Mums for Housing in California, who are the most amazing, like militant female taking over homes campaign, campaigns in the Philippines. If you've never looked at the amazing, huge demonstrations for housing in the Philippines, check it out. We had meetings with communities from Palestine who are facing housing demolition. We had meetings with people from Ireland and Dublin and what they're doing there. So it allowed us to bring all of these people into one meeting. And that was like a really important thing that we could do. We also done a really successful subvertising campaign, and we done that alongside Mums for Housing in California. And so on May Day, we had like a joint protest with them. And I think it really helped us to demonstrate to everyone on the call and people we're working with that, capitalism doesn't solve the housing crisis. That's what they're saying in the States. That's what they're saying in Palestine. That's what they're saying in the Philippines. That's what they're saying all around the world. So it was a wonderful opportunity that we never thought we would be able to have. That comes along with difficulties because not everyone has access to being able to get onto Zoom, right? Or know how to use Zoom. And so, for example, our last public meeting that we had a couple of weeks ago, we tried to have a forum where people could join online and some people who didn't have access could join in person, but very spread out. And it was interesting. It felt like a newsroom sometimes, I think. But yeah, I think that, to be honest with you, I think you can find, if you're flexible enough and you're not dogmatic, and you're creative, you can always find ways and means to organise within the constraints. But of course I say that, and I also say that our strength is in the streets always, and it's never going to be just online. But if we're constrained to online, you can fight. And the final thing is that on a very basic issue to do with COVID is that obviously the housing offices are shut down, things are slowed up, and so it's really hard individually for people to even know where to turn to or who to speak to about their case. And COVID has had a massive impact on that. And it's also been it felt like it's an excuse for anyone to wave, to not do their job properly, so that's a big thing. Yeah, that's all.
I just have something I can add to that a little bit about organising online. Yeah, as Saskia said, obviously there's huge access issues when you're only able to organise online. But we have also found that some people have found the fact that there's more meetings online meant that they could access meetings when they previously haven't been able to, especially people with childcare and some disabilities. So we've been having conversations about how when we move back to having in-person meetings, making sure that we don't leave people behind that actually needed that online access. And we've got a new disability justice caucus within LRU that's going to be really that's going to be led by people who have disabilities and who could really think around how we can use both online and in person and just maximize access as far as possible.
I would add to that the real challenge is while our membership has grown over this period a lot, we see ourselves as doing organising on the ground. And in Lewisham, we had just planned a big organising drive in Catford when the pandemic struck, and we had to cancel that. So and we're still struggling a bit with how to engage at a local community level when you're not allowed to meet up or there's a rule of 6 in place. So we're still grappling with that a little bit, I would say, and maybe we will be until till the vaccine comes, who knows? But yeah, at the same time, you know, like LRU more than doubled in size, and that means, you know, more people, more resources, like so many more people have. There are like many people who have got involved during the pandemic who have only ever done LRU online, and they're putting in so much work, and it's amazing because, you know, like it used to feel more like there was the risk of burnout, but our growth has actually meant so many amazing new people coming on board that feels less of a risk than it used to. So yeah,